So let's step up that. They just, we'll have water for you. We'll have a presentation. You'll think we forgot to. For some reason, we don't pray over water. We only okay, I joke about that all the time. So when it happens, I'll say, well, this regular council meeting, regular public meeting, city council meeting, we stand on and it remains there for the Pledge of Allegiance. And you still have to do it. One big step back. And we lead the Pledge of Allegiance. It don't work. The reason is and that's there is no reason to I got one doctor. Focus on Good morning. Man, we got the whole church here. All right, you got to talk to him. And I wanted to let you know, I never get to sound loud, you know, Richard. Verse 22. How are you, Rusty? Not okay. Yep, you got it. Very nice. Any minute, I believe.
Brother, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you doing?
No choice.
Who is here representing the FISTA?
Not a lot of time spare.
Yes. Yeah, I was not going to be able to wait for you to get back.
I left the funeral home just after the service. My wife and my daughter were headed to the cemetery and I go straight back. That's where the burial's going to be. The service was in Chandler. So it's
Right. But Crescent, where I was sitting at,
you were
yes, and I was like, exactly where you're going.
her wife's stepdad and her mother lived in Crescent for a long time in Tennessee, but her family lived lives in Crescent. Well, her Grant Joe still lives.
Well,
You probably, if you heard her, you probably recognize her. She's not quiet.
oh, well, if she was vocal about anything, then I'm sure I heard her.
Yeah, she's vocal.
So move that any way you want, okay?
Well, I had a couple of things that were my highlights. One of them was the log cabin library. There was just a log cabin there for over 5 years. Nobody done anything with it. It's Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. And I said, well, why don't we just transfer it into a library? And then y'all can come back. It caused a whole fuss, I'll tell you that. But in the end, it's still standing. It was questionable whenever somebody got their tractor and started heading that way, though.
The way it's written. Not the way it's written, it's not.
I get everything that happens not to I mean, not these two specific.
But this right here, the way it's written, only two if you follow
They may
the
have
way
written it wrong.
if you follow the that's correct. If you follow the way it's written, only 147,000 goes toward those 3 items. Just thought I'd write in my head. I'll make it
It don't fit. That's the model I just came from the funeral, so it don't.
Okay, it's time to get started. At this time, I will call the special meeting of the Lawton Water Authority to order. Please call the roll.
Hankins, Harris, Chapman, Burke, Hampton, Fortenbaugh, Johnson, Warren.
Okay, and that brings up business item number 1. Consider approval of the minutes of the Lawton Water Authority special meeting of July 26, 2022.
Move to approve.
Motion for approval in a second. Please vote. Motion carries 6 to 0. 6 to 0. 6 are present. Consider and take action with respect, or item number 2, excuse me. Consider and take action with respect to a resolution of the Lawton Water Authority, the borrower, including any floor amendments that may be made thereto, authorizing and approving to increase the currently authorized loan application with the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, the board, for financial assistance to the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, CWSRF, loan program, with the loan proceeds being for the purpose of financing certain wastewater treatment plant, WWTP, improvements and water meter replacements, approving and authorizing the CWSRF loan from the board in the total aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $70 million, approving the issuance of a promissory note or notes in one or more series in the total aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $70 million, secured by a pledge of revenues and authorizing its execution, approving and authorizing the execution of a loan agreement for CWSRF loan, designating a local trustee, and approving and authorizing the execution of a trust agreement, approving and authorizing the execution of a security agreement, ratifying and confirming a lease agreement as amended pertaining to certain water, sanitary sewer, and refuge systems, approving various covenants, and approving and authorizing the establishment of a project cost disbursement account and containing other provisions related thereto. Rusty.
Bad news today. What come back to the council we're planning today on the council accepting plans and specifications for the wastewater treatment plant and starting advertising that project on the 31st of August. Current engineer's estimate is $71 million, of which we had initially set up for $71 million. But as we're seeing around the state and even bids that we're obtaining, all the bids are coming in at approximately 41% above the engineer's estimate. And this is happening in all the areas around us. For instance, Shawnee just had a bid opening a couple of weeks ago. The engineer's estimate was $60 million, right at $69 million. The bid opening was $104 million. We had our SCADA bid opening last week. Engineer's estimate was $4.3 million. The engineer's estimate, the bid opening, low bid, was $6.1 million, 41%. That 41% seems to be holding in all the bids that we're seeing on all plant and infrastructure projects. Because of our tight timeline to comply with our consent order, we have to start advertising the project in August 31st. We have to have a bid opening October the 11th. We have to go to the Water Resources Board October the 18th, come to the council and close that loan prior to the first council meeting in November, and award that contract to meet our December 1st deadline under our consent order. So we could not afford to open those bids and not have enough money allocated to fund this project. So that's what we're doing, is coming to the council to get authorization to go to the board to make sure that we've got enough money identified. We're only going to do the loan and pull the money for what is necessary to fund the project, but because of those tight timelines and the penalties that go with the consent order, we needed to make sure, because we don't have time to turn around and come back, to make sure to avoid penalties under our consent order.
So this is phase one,
Yes, this is
which
phase
is
one.
kind of scary. How many phases do we have?
We have identified 3 phases. Now, about a third of phase 1 was initially identified in phase 2, but because of we found a condition that was unrepairable, so we had to move some items out of phase 2 to phase 1, which added approximately $15 million worth of cost. So.
Okay, thank you. Have we updated our total project? I'm not sure I knew original project cost for however many phases there were. Have we updated that?
Phase 1 was originally estimated at approximately $60 million. Phase 2 was originally estimated at approximately $70 million. So $15 million out of that phase 2 came to phase 1. So that's really where we're at. Phase 3, which is down the road, approximately 10 to 12 years down the road, was going to be in the neighborhood of $200 million.
Okay, and obviously, I mean, the utility rates, there's money in there to pay this, but now we're raising it. Are you getting the rest of the money from Propel?
No,
from the designated?
None of the money here is identified from Propel. It's still all out of the utility rates. And if the bids come in at the $71 million, we're good on our rates. Okay. If we have to leverage the other $25 million we're setting up for that project, it could not. We had a couple of loans that we actually paid off just recently, the last few months. That money will roll out, so we will be able to offset some of this increase from that. So right now, we're good for the next couple of years on our rate structure for debt service.
Council, do you have questions? Motions?
I don't have it in front of me. Do we need to make a motion to direct staff to?
Just make a motion to adopt resolution number 20-22- to be filled in by legal, included any floor amendments that may be attached thereto.
That's my motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
And a second. Motion is second. Discussion or debate? Please vote. Okay, motion carries 6-0. Do I have a motion for adjournment? Motion and a second. Please vote, or call the roll.
Chapman. Hampton. Fortenbaugh. Johnson. Warren. Hankins.
Are we good to go, Michael? Okay, thank you. So we got a couple minutes between meetings for technology.
This is